Due to its global hegemony and the endless power struggles in Washington, the United States is a country where even the slightest tremor in domestic politics can shake the entire world. In this context, a historic and deeply dark fracture occurred recently at the very center of American politics. Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the most powerful and strategic figures of the Republican Party, passed away suddenly, leaving behind massive question marks. If you look at the official statements, everything seems to follow the book. The Washington, D.C. Medical Examiner's Office announced that Graham died from an aortic dissection due to cardiovascular disease. In other words, they want to close the case by saying he died of natural causes, his heart just stopped. However, the problem is that in forensic literature, a heart attack or an aortic dissection only tells you how a person died. It does not explain the actual instigator behind it, meaning why they died. Especially when the deceased is a senator who touched the most critical nerve endings of the American deep state and foreign policy, believing this death notice and retreating to our corner would be naivety at best. We need to carefully analyze the background of the story and the timing. Just a day before his passing, Graham was in Ukraine. He was working on historic sanctions against Russia. In fact, he had his last phone call with Donald Trump right before his death, and immediately after the call, he ironically joked to those around him, saying, "I don't feel well, but I can't die now. I still need to finish the Russia sanctions and sort out Iran." A few hours after this conversation, he was found dead in his home. You don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to be skeptical. You just need to look at the chronological data. Now let's open our minds and descend into the dark laboratories of the intelligence world. When you want to eliminate someone, doing it with an assassin, a gun, or a bomb leaves a trail and turns into a cause for war. But if you make it look like a natural death, your hands remain clean at the table. Back in the 1970s, the CIA developed a weapon revealed in the Frank Church Committee reports known as the heart attack gun. You would hit the target with a frozen poisonous pellet. The toxin dissolved inside the body within 10 minutes, leaving behind nothing but a natural heart attack profile. Similarly, the Soviet KGB and modern Russian intelligence are world-class brands in this method. Since 2018, a litmus test known as the Sudden Russian Death Syndrome has been unfolding in the UK and various parts of the world. Many Russian dissidents, oligarchs, or figures distancing themselves from Putin's Ukraine policy are either falling from windows or dying suddenly due to rare botanical toxins like gelsemium, which directly triggers a heart attack and is nearly impossible to detect forensically. Initial toxicology tests find no signs of foul play, exactly what was said in the immediate aftermath of Lindsey Graham's case. The emergency radio logs from that night make the situation even more manipulative. When the first ambulance was dispatched to Graham's home at 8:27 p.m., the fire and medical teams reported that the door was locked. Yet, the emergency call routed to the center came from a mysterious woman in Baltimore, miles away. Who is this woman? How did she know Graham was falling ill, and why did she claim the door was unlocked? While the American intelligence community and the FBI should be pursuing these questions, we know that the Trump administration has gutted the most critical institutions, like the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and sidelined qualified intelligence professionals in recent years. Within this institutional blindness, does the forensic will even exist to uncover whether a senior senator was silenced by a foreign service, like Russia or Iran, using a biochemical agent? This is where the biggest red flag comes into play. What makes the situation even stranger is that the very day after Graham's death, the 84-year-old Senator Mitch McConnell shared a proof-of-life photo holding that day's newspaper. Why would a figure at the apex of American politics, immediately following the death of a close colleague, choose not to record a video to express his condolences, but instead send a mob-style photo message as if to say, "I am still alive and healthy"? What's more, he did so without even mentioning Graham's name in the statement. This starkly exposes the climate of fear and the wave of threats prevailing in the corridors of Washington. On the flip side of the coin is the political leverage manufactured in the wake of this death. Before Graham's body could even turn cold, Donald Trump and the Make America Great Again movement had already turned this sudden passing into PR material for their radical foreign policy agenda. At rallies, rhetoric is being produced claiming, to honor Lindsey's memory, we must bomb Iran. For his legacy, we must pass the new election laws. So, on one side, there is a dark death shrouded in suspicions of assassination, and on the other, a political intellect leveraging the emotional wave of that death to push its own agenda. We must make the right critiques and the right analyses, taking a populist approach to say, this is entirely a conspiracy, or closing one's eyes by saying, whatever the government says is true, the man died of natural causes, will not lead us to the truth. The truth is that the world has evolved into a very different place compared to the more transparent and predictable world of 10 to 15 years ago. The cards are now played under the shadow of global intelligence agencies, biochemical laboratories, and behind-the-scenes purges. Lindsey Graham's death is a piece of a global equation far too large to be squeezed inside a forensic box, and unless this file is opened deeply, no seat in Washington will ever be safe.